Hi, I'm Ben Gill, and I just wanted to do a quick follow-up video for the invisible split screen tutorial I made with some additional examples that show off the concepts a bit more than that video did. I apologize for the huge gap between the last video and this one. I've just been absolutely swamped with work and making films for school. I meant to get this out weeks ago, but here it is. Thank you for your patience. First of all, I want to thank everyone who watched and shared the original invisible split screen tutorial. It was a lot of fun to make, and I hope people found it useful. I've been trying my best to respond to all the comments and questions, and it's been super helpful hearing all the feedback from the first split screen video, and I really want to thank everyone for helping me make these videos better. The response has been insane, and everyone I've talked to has been really encouraging and have suggested some awesome ways that they also use this technique in their own work. One of the coolest uses I read in the comments was John Stockton commenting that he uses the invisible split screen technique to get the boom pole close to actors in a wide or an extreme wide shot. This is a great solution for getting usable sound in a wide if you don't have any lavalier mics. He shoots a clean plate with the same setup to ensure that they can remove the boom operator from the shot in post. Now, I wanted to show you some examples of the invisible split screen technique that illustrate it in some more concrete ways than the previous examples. Some people commented that there were some issues with clarity, and I hope these examples fill in any gaps. The first example that I have is from a short film entitled Homecoming. Homecoming was a UCF film production, and it was directed by Jason Jack Underwood. And what makes this example a little bit different from the other ones is that it was shot on 35mm film. And with this comes a few other complications when trying to use the invisible split screen technique. While all the shots I worked on were tripod shots, 35mm shots are never completely still. They exhibit this small rattling or micro shake that I assume is caused by the film running through the camera. And while it's not the end of the world, it just means that the footage must be tracked or stabilized before any visual effects can be applied. The tracking is super easy and great when you need to comp something in or clean something up in the footage, but it can definitely cause some headaches when doing the invisible split screen technique. I'll show you. While you can still split the screen and move the sides in time, the micro shake makes the halves stand out because each side has their own shake, and when you move them out of sync, the shake is different on both sides. To some of the shots, this adds another set of steps involving tracking and stabilization that I'm highlighting, but I'm not really going to go into for the sake of time. This diner sequence is a good example of the invisible split screen technique used to match continuity between over-the-shoulder shots and wide shots. Here's what it looks like before the split screening. In this first over-the-shoulder, we see the male actor Dan Jobling light his receipt on fire, but when we cut to the reverse of him, he has yet to light it. And on top of that, when we cut to the wide, the female actress Croy Provence is drinking out of the mug already, whereas in the shot before, she hadn't yet lifted the mug. We're going to fix all of this with simple split screening. Here's what it looks like after we split screen. We now see that when Dan lights the receipt on fire, it's continued across both shots instead of having a repeat action. And the same with the mug, we now see when Croy lifts it in the over the shoulder, it's the same timing as when we cut to the wide. As you can see, all the continuity has been restored. This helps maintain the illusion of real time and real space. Let's take a look at how I split these shots. Because of the micro shake I mentioned earlier, I tried to use the lines in the frame to hide the movement. I left her hand on the left side of the split because she doesn't lift her hand and his hand crosses in front of it. So now I'm able to drag Dan over in time until just before he lights the receipt to match the continuity of the next shot. The next shot is a lot trickier because there's this third element of the waitress coming into frame on the left way too early. So I have to make sure I freeze frame that portion that she enters in so that we don't see her in this over the shoulder shot. Again, I'm using the lines in the frame to hide the shake with about 3 pixels of feathering. I've also tracked Dan's split screen so that I could parent the other 2 layers to that same shake, hopefully minimizing any perceivable difference in their motion. Now with the waitress layer and Dan Jopling's layer on top, I can freely move Croy's layer underneath until the mug continuity matches the wide. And just like that, continuity is fixed. Here's another quick example from the same short. In the edit, they found that they wanted to use this moment right before action was called. And unfortunately, I'm still in the frame trying to haul ass out of the way with the slate. Luckily for us, this is an easy fix with split screening. I just took a freeze frame of the left side and tracked it to the right side and added some film grain. Again, I'm using the natural lines in the composition and feathering to hide the seams. Here's a third example of split screening from a different shoot. This is a Kickstarter video I shot and edited for a Kickstarter campaign for a debate card game called The Art of Debate. We made this little short to illustrate how the game works, and this is a shot of the cat team in a cats versus dogs debate. The cat team is crying because they just found out that they lost the debate, and the person on the far left was the tie-breaking vote that made them lose. Unfortunately, in this shot, she's laughing at their reactions, so I'll have to fix that performance using split screening. What makes this split a bit tricky is that she overlaps with the actor next to her. Luckily, her knee doesn't move, so our split doesn't have to go all the way to the edge of her knee. The other layer is a freeze frame, used to cover up any time either of their shoulders would spill into the other side. If we move this mask between them any closer to the girl, we'd reveal the arm of the girl's original performance. So I masked out this freeze frame of that space between them on the couch and keyframed it so it didn't cover either of their shoulders when they moved. A few extra steps, but the shot is saved. I hope these examples more clearly illustrated some of the concepts from the first video, and I hope that you can find more everyday uses for this technique in your projects. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this tutorial. I have a lot more videos like this planned, so if you like these, consider subscribing. I'm hoping to have the next videos out in a more consistent and timely basis for you guys. Again, I'm Ben Gill, and thanks for watching.